Hey everyone, it's Chris here, and I'm popping on today to do a quick VR to Brant at Moonbaby. This is hashtag Tarot Collector, and it would feel wrong to do a VR to Brant without doing that in the video or that. So yeah, hey Brant. So this is just a kind of video to let you see some of the decks in my collection. Um, So without further ado, let me begin. The first deck is your most expensive deck. Now, I'm not sure really whether this is intended to be the deck that I've paid the most for, or is it the deck that I could get the most money for that's worth the most. I'm going with the deck that I've paid the most for because, to be honest, I'm not really all that savvy on, the cost of different decks. So I would probably get it wrong if I tried to tell you what deck was most valuable in my collection. So the one that I've spent the most money on is the Trionfo della Luna. I can't remember how much it was, mind you, but certainly together with postage to get it over here in the UK, it cost a fair bit. I think it cost between around about £60 or something. So it's just the kind of standard version. I do really like this deck though. It's the cardstock's lovely. It's got a lovely kind of just glides really nicely. And of course it's a Marseille style deck, so I'm showing you upside down, it turns out. Yeah, just a really nice deck. It's a really kind of different, quirky take on your traditional Marseille kind of characters, which I suppose is what Patrick Valenza is good for. So yeah, that is my most expensive deck. My least expensive deck, I've actually done a tarot tryouts on this one. It's this Jonathan D tarot. This is quite. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. The card stock leaves a lot to be desired, as I think we discovered when I did the tarot tryouts. I think I was shuffling it and I kind of dented one of the cards. It's very thin card stock, so that's essentially the thickness of the deck. It's really not very thick at all. But I mean, the images are really nice. I think just maybe the cardstock would bug people with this one. So that's the Jonathan D tarot. The next question, I'm going to kind of cop out of this one, to be honest with you. It's the deck that other people want to steal from your collection. I don't think that my collection is really that great. Certainly not yet. If there is a deck that I've got that people would want to steal, I'm probably not really all that aware of it. So I tell you what, when you've watched this video, if you know some of the decks in my collection, then maybe you can comment in the comments below and tell me what deck you think that other people would want to steal from my collection. Because like I say, I'm not really very sure. And by the way, I don't know if anyone's noticed here, but I've actually turned my room round. So this is my study that I normally film in and do lives from and stuff. So I've moved things about a bit. I've got a lot more space here now, because my desk is up against one wall and my unit is up against the other. So you've got a bit of a different vantage point today. 4 is my strangest deck, and that's got to be the Canon Reed Witches Tarot. It's this one here. I've got the bordered and the borderless version of this. I think this deck's actually worth a fair bit. I've seen this go for quite a lot on eBay. I think this is out of production, and I believe the bordered one's out of production as well. But this was even kind of more, even older than the bordered one. The reason I say this is one of the strangest is there's just a few things about this that I think would probably really bother some people. For example, the court cards. The court, I'm just going to show you. So these are the 4 queens. So you can kind of see it's essentially the same image but altered. So you can see like the dress is a different colour, the hair's a different colour. But essentially we're looking at the same image. If you look at the background and stuff, and I think even if you look at the face, it's pretty much the same. It's just certain things have been changed about it, and that's the same throughout all the court cards. So all the there's princesses and princes, so all the princesses are the same, all the princes are the same, the queens and the kings. So yeah, it's quite weird for that. There are some cards in it that are really bizarre. I've just picked out a couple. Your Two of Pentacles. Like, it's such a bizarre image, coupled with the fact that it doesn't really say Two of Pentacles to me. It's just a really odd one. But then again, this deck is it doesn't follow the traditional system, any of the traditional systems that I'm aware of that we're kind of used to. So some of the images that you see are very kind of different from what you would expect to see. And then this is the Eight of Pentacles. A lot of weirdly muscled men in it. Another thing which this isn't really that weird. It's weird for me because it's not how I'm used to reading, but it does use fire for swords and air for wands. I realised that in like kind of paganism, pagan type decks, and maybe Wiccan type decks, that's actually not unusual at all. But it's unusual for me because it's not how I'm used to reading. And then the real weird one about this deck is, so we're used to seeing like having justice and strength in different places, like sometimes strength is 8, sometimes justice is. And that's cool. I can really deal with either. I don't find either of those placements really that strange. Now, in this deck, strength is number 8, which is cool. But then justice is number 10. That is 10, justice. And the Wheel of Fortune is number 11. Everything else is pretty much as you would expect. But it's just those two are just quite unusual to me. So that's the Witch's Tarot. I'd say that's my strangest deck. The deck that other collectors are least likely to have in their collection. I'm having a total memory blank here as to what deck I'd intended to pick for that. So I'll circle back round to that actually, if you don't mind. The oldest deck, or the deck that I've had the longest, so this is certainly the oldest one. This is the Ancien Tarot de Marseille, and this is copyrighted in 1963. So this is old, not only older than me, but it's older than my mum. My mum was born in 67, so this is definitely, I'm pretty sure this is the oldest deck that I've got. It's got these backs, and they have these kind of blue translations to English on them, which I think is quite unusual. So yeah, that is the oldest one. My newest deck, as in the one that I've had for the least amount of time, is the Universal Weight. That came a week ago today actually, that came in the post. And it's this is a 1990 edition, so I think this is quite a, this was made in the 90s, so this must be quite an early on deck. It's got these solid blue backgrounds, not the kind of blue with the stars that we're used to. And the images are really quite pale on it. I'm trying not to reflect too much light back onto you here. But I really like this deck. It's lovely. The colours are beautiful on it. To be honest though, because I think it is quite a rare find, I'm scared to use it too much. I don't want to kind of wreck it. So yeah, that is my newest tarot deck. The deck that made you want to collect decks in the first place. See, I kind of struggle with that one, to be honest with you, but I think I'm going to have to double up here. I think I'm going to have to say that that is the Witch's Tarot. So I initially had the bordered version, but I had seen pictures of the borderless version. So when I ordered this initially, when I ordered my version, I've got the bordered version, I thought I was getting the borderless. I mean, it came with borders on it. I was really quite disappointed. So I spent quite a while trying to get this borderless version, and I thought, oh gosh, I'm never going to get it. And then when I did get it, I was like, wow, this is, I was really quite proud of myself. And it really kind of, it was my first kind of rare find in terms of tarot on, on eBay or anything like that. So that was really what spurred me into kind of starting to want to collect. But I suppose you could say like all of these decks have kind of given me that kind of like the not the Jonathan D, but the Ancien, the Triomphe. These are all decks that have kind of spurred me on to kind of collect more. So I'm currently looking for, I've been kind of with one eye. I've been looking on eBay at Blushing Fools, so I have. So we'll see what happens there. Um, And then the last question, number 9, is your favourite deck from your collection. Now, this, I'm maybe not answering this properly because this isn't really a collector type deck, so it maybe doesn't quite answer the question right. But my favourite deck is my Light Seers. So it's just your mass market standard edition um, from Hay House. I just love this deck. It's my soul deck, as I say all the time. I've edged it in green. Yeah, I just love reading with this deck. It just always seems to kind of have something to say to me. I very rarely kind of get those moments where I pull cards and I'm stumped. Yeah, I just seem to get on really well with this deck, and we just really resonate well together. So what one was it I was going to double back to? The Strangest? No, that was, so it was the deck that other collectors are least likely to have in their collection. Was that it? So do you know, I think actually I was going to double up with this Ancien Tarot de Marseille, because I know quite a few people will have an Ancien Grimont deck, but this is quite an unusual one because it has these blue translations. It has this unusual background which I hadn't seen, to be honest, before this came in the post. It's got these blue translations, and if you look at them, like baton, which we would normally translate to wands, or rods or something, is translated to clubs in this deck. Dernier, which would normally be pentacles or coins, has been literally translated into money. So dernier is the French word for coin or money. What else? Yeah, so just with the blue translations, with some of the kind of words that have been translated over, I've not seen this in a lot of people's collections, so I'm going to guess that maybe not a lot of people will have this. And it is copyrighted to 1963, so like I'd said before, it is quite an old deck. So I'm doubtful that people are likely to have this very version in their collection. So I think that's us. I got there in the end, didn't we? I had to do a bit of a roundabout there, so sorry about that. I think I kind of got myself mixed up a bit confused in some of my choices. So hopefully this was enjoyable. Please do let me know what you think about number 3, the deck that other collectors would want to steal from your collection. Apologies, I've been looking over this way quite a lot in this video. I've got the questions up on my screen over here, and I've got my decks kind of on my table down here. So apologies if you've been seeing a lot of this side of my face during this video. I'm still kind of working out, best angles and stuff like that way in my room round this way. So maybe a wee bit of trial and error until I get everything right. But anyway, thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this. Comment in the comments box and let me know about that deck stealing question. And until next time, I will love you and leave you. Thank you very much. See you all later.